We have brought the fun to the studio. When we talk about resilience, when we talk about impact, when we talk about vision, I mean, there are very few people that can have all of those, personality features as facets of their lives. Imagine being injured at 15 years old when you think you're going to be a rugby star, winning all the championships around the world. And then you've got to pivot, but that doesn't stop you. You decide, I'm going to make something of my life. I'm going to become a CA. You find yourself living overseas. You take in all of that experience, and then boom, you bring it back over here. And then we've got one of the biggest franchises, one of the biggest success stories. And this guy is easily one of the hardest working people that I know. He is in the studio. Sean Barber is here. And before we welcome him, I thought that we would honor him a little bit with some song.
Walk on with hope in your heart, and he'll never
Sean Barber's in the studio. Finally. Oh man, Sean, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for joining us for the first time on Afternoons with Zweli.
Thanks for having me as well.
Yeah, man, and you're kitted out. You're wearing your Liverpool shirt. I was telling Tando and I was like, I didn't wear it today, and I needed to, so we can both show our
I was hoping you
support.
would, but disappointing.
Oh man,
Okay.
man.
I didn't sing with you there. I'll give a whole lot of people a headache in their cars if I did that.
Oh man, so how's it been going? How are things? How's 2025 been treating you, my man?
2025 has been a bit of a roller coaster, but good.
Yeah.
No day is the
Yeah.
same, which is kind of what I look for.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the business that you're in is that
Yeah.
no day is going to be the same
No
whatsoever.
day is the same. It'll never be the same, which is kind of why I chose it in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's dynamic like that.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back to, I don't even know when is the first time that we had met, but the longest of times, and I think that a lot of people also thought this,
When did you start on this at 947?
2013.
I think I met you as I opened Brands in 2017.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I was a little child back then. Oh my goodness! But your surname, I thought it was Rockets. For the longest of times, I was like, it's Sean Rockets. It's Sean Rockets. You know what I mean? And then you're working Rockets, man. Sean Barber, and you're like, wait a minute, have I been getting it wrong this time? Is it Barber? Is it Rockets? And do you get that quite a lot from people where they think that your surname is actually
They
Rockets?
do, and they do. And then when
Yeah.
I say, no, I've opened salons, they say, and your surname's Barber. I'm like, is that also a joke? No, it's not a joke. It's a real thing.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about the birth of Rockets. I mean, there's been so many different types of Rockets establishments. I mean, we were talking about Rockets, the salad bar a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
That was on, 24 Central.
There
all
were
of
four of
those.
them, 24 Central, Nedbank, Morris Arch, and our data campus.
There we go. And that wasn't necessarily just the beginning. The story of Rockets started a very, very long time ago. So, can you talk us through how it is that this brainchild just came to fruition?
You know, I was working as a CA in London and just not enjoying it, not enjoying it. When I was at varsity, I had a tutor in my second year, an accounts tutor said to me, why are you studying marketing? Because I was studying marketing at UCT.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, I'm creative, I'm looking for that dynamic environment. And they said, well, a chartered accountant can do a marketer's job. A marketer can't do a chartered accountant's job.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some validity in that. I think he was correct on some levels and incorrect on others.
Yeah.
But at the time, I thought, that makes sense. So I flipped into the CA route and then qualified and, did, I think it was 4 years undergrad with an honors level and then your GDA and then 3 years articles. All to become a very average chartered accountant at best. I wasn't very good.
Look,
But I qualified, but I wasn't very good.
If you weren't good at chartered accounting, it's fine because there are many, many other things that you clearly have been good at throughout your life.
And then it was, I went to New York. I worked there. I went in banking, then London. And, I found myself trying to get into more industries that were further away from finance that I could find. I mean, in the end, I worked for Paramount Pictures for a couple of years, but you're going to red carpet events every week and you're going to movie premieres and it's awesome, but Monday to Friday, and for some it's amazing and you're crunching numbers. For me, it just didn't do it. And I lived in Wimbledon Village and I used to cycle to work. And Wimbledon Village, if you don't know it, it's not the biltong belt of Wimbledon and Southfields and Earlsfield that you get in London that a lot of the South Africans go to.
Yeah.
The village is very similar to Parkhurst. You know? So I would cycle to work every day, and I saw these guys putting out their restaurants and getting things ready, and I thought I could do that.
Yeah, I want to do that.
I want to do that. I want to give it a go, you know. So I phoned my dad and I said, listen, I want to come back home and open a restaurant. And he was like, expletive, what do you know about restaurants?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Not after all we've been through. Now this is what you want to pivot
ages
to.
And you're throwing it away. I said, I know what I don't want to do. You know, sometimes that's as strong as knowing what you do want to do.
So
I was like, actually. You know, and CAs are amazing. It's a good profession. It's an amazing profession. I still use the skill set every day. But for me, it just wasn't it.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, I was looking for the dynamism of restaurateuring.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what extraction was.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
So how did you eventually get into that then? You know what I mean? If you didn't necessarily know,
I just had a hunch.
I came home
and I thought, I just came home. It was June 2007, and then I found I thought, let me start with a commercial property broker. And then no one would give me a look, and then like, you're a CA, you want to open a restaurant, what? Eventually, I found an automate car garage on Rivonia Boulevard. Yeah, behind the Grand. So if any man is shaking his head that he knows where that is, keep on shaking your head.
Everybody knows.
Yeah. So I thought, hey man, I'll do this. And Rivonia Boulevard back then was quite nice.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool.
I've heard that it used to be pumping Rivonia Boulevard as well.
So 2007, 5th of December 2007 was the first day of trade.
Gee whiz.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people would, you know, I mean, I don't want to say I'm younger because then I'm going to try and make everyone sound old.
Sorry, I'm old. That happens. Comes for you.
I remember that there was the Rockets in Parkhurst, and that was the one that, you know, became quite popular at the time. I remember when I was still a student heading towards the end of my degree and that sort of thing. A lot of friends like, where are you going in Parkhurst? Oh, let's go to Rockets, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Was that also a little bit of maybe just some inspiration to go, actually, hang on, let's go bigger. Let's make this something that's a lot bigger, more floors, more people, and just a lot more entertainment and lifestyle.
Yeah. So my business model in my head that I always had was a restaurant, like a one-stop shop venue for your entire night's entertainment. You know, so have a great restaurant and an adjacent or an above bar. I always believed in that, and it's it expanded. Parkhurst was my third shop actually. That was 2012. But that was the first time that the Lolita's brand was born, and that was a standalone bar or club. Yeah. You know, and I managed we opened Rockets Parkhurst on the corner of, I think it was 4th and 10th or 4th and 11th, and then next door there was a sushi shop called Ruby Sushi.
Yeah, you remember all of this, like
I feel it was crazy.
When you've been in it for that long, I can imagine that every single small detail.
You know, at restauranteering, it feels like a time warp. You know, you work 100 hours a week, and then these weeks just become.
Oh my goodness!
You know, months feel like weeks feel like seconds. You know, it's just
yeah.
And so that's when, you know, the entertainment side of Rockets was really explored and born.
Did you ever, at a point, feel that, oh, maybe this is too much for me, I don't know if I'm going to make it, let me try something else again? Or were you always just so, you know, confident in the fact that this is the model, this is going to work, and it will be successful one way or another?
I think, like, as an entrepreneur, you're always looking for that secondary source of income, you know, but we natural risk takers, and, you know, to a fault, perhaps we believe in the business model so much that I firmly believed in that business model. I still do today. It's a very robust business model that's allowed us to, now that we're in our 18th year, there's not many hospitality brands that can say that. You know, and it was that belief in that business model and the team that you accumulate around you that also believed in it, that make you successful. You know, there were a couple of things that I tried along the lines that didn't stand me in good stead. It cost a lot, you know, but it didn't work out. But I think primarily it was always restauranteering and Rockets is always my passion, you know, and you need to have it like that if you're going to be working 100 hours a week. And you need a support base and a very strong wife and behind you at home that understands that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, is that, you know, how crazy has it been, how important has it been to have, you know, a strong wife, someone who's behind you, encouraging you all the time? And I guess it's a two-headed question, but also in terms of, you know, family, your children as well, how important is it to you for them to see you work this hard? Do you see some, you know, of that resilience and some of that, I'm also going to work hard when I'm older?
I think you should set a good example for your children as a father and as a person in business, whether it's a corporate job or whatever. I mean, work is honorable, work is love made visible, according to Khalil Gibran, you know what I mean? So you need to set an example as someone who works and provides, a man or a woman. I think your children need to look up to you and see a work ethic there that they can aspire to, and that sets the standards for them to want to adhere to when they get older. And then also be a present father. I'm lucky, but hospitality is, to a large extent, it can be flexi time. You've got to do the hours, but it's nothing stopping me from making bath time between 5 and 8. You know what I mean? That type of thing. And I've made sure I did that. But it's the sacrifices have been massive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because anyone who's had a restaurant or has restaurants will know this. Even when you are away from your shops, you're still there.
You're still getting the phone calls as well.
You're still there. There's you waiting. As you progress and you build better teams and stuff, your job becomes almost damage control if anything goes wrong. Because your strong managers will sort out the day-to-day stuff, but you're there for the critical events if they do happen. And if you're away from your shops, you feel not being able to be there. And if something does go down, and then of course
that's your baby.
Yeah, that's your baby. And then of course you're chasing your targets. You're only as good as your last day. You can have the best day, and then the next day you have the worst day. And you remember your worst day. I do, I'm quick to remember the worst day.
The restaurant scene in South Africa is constantly changing. How do you keep up?
You got to, number one, like I just said, you got to spend time on your shops. You got to have a massive work ethic. You got to be humble. You got to always think that there's someone out there that's better than you. I like to watch overseas trends. I think I go overseas, and my wife is Spanish, so we generally she's got to have that cultural fix that I call it, and she goes home for a couple of weeks in July or August every year. I'll make sure that I'll go to Europe and I'll have a look what's going on. And then I'm a massive believer in South African talent, so I always say we can come back home and do it better than they can, and we do. But you got to be humble. You got to look at what other people are doing. You got to appreciate it when they do things better than you, because that often happens, and use that as inspiration to make yourself better.
I love that.
You know what I mean? You will. It's a kiss of death if you think that you're on top of your game in hospitality.
And that's that. Well, look, there's so much we still got to talk about. I mean, we've been talking about Bryanston. There's the beach club in Umhlanga. We were there the other week. I mean, there's Mainland that opened as well a couple of years ago. So we're going to get into all of that, all of your awards. And also, Sean mentioned something very important, being a supporter of local talent and being a believer. And we need to chat about Rockets Media, because that is something that is just so innovative, about to explode. But we'll get into that in the next couple of moments. Sean Barber is still in the studio with us right now. We're going to get into some voice notes, some messages that have come in. But I remember it was back around the time that we had met, 2017, 18, when you guys started winning awards. And it was... that was almost unheard of, at least at the time for me, that, restaurants win awards, they've got award ceremonies, that whole thing. How great and important was it for you and the entire team to be acknowledged, as you have still been acknowledged as the years have gone by?
Yeah, it's always nice to get some positive reinforcement with an award. But we don't live by them. You know what I mean? Because there's always a judging panel that has their own point of view and their own way of doing things. We did, one thing I really enjoyed or appreciated was that overseas award we won. That's basically the Oscars of restaurant and hotel and club design. Happens in London every year, and we won a big award there, which is very cool.
Really cool.
So it's nice. I mean, if someone says, we don't care about awards, they're lying. You do. But you got to put it in perspective.
I was going to say, because I'm that guy that's like, I don't care about awards. It's great when you win, but if you don't win, I don't think that it diminishes anything about what you do or the work that you actually do at the end of the day.
There must be an innate drive in you for excellence and an adherence to excellence. And if an award comes along the way, then cool, but it mustn't derail you, and you mustn't chase awards.
100% agree. Now, we saw the launch of Rockets Mainland a couple of years ago. We know every time you're at the Sunbed Arena, as soon as you're done with the concert, you go straight to Rockets Mainland over there. And then you guys have got the Beach Club in Umhlanga. And how has that been going? Because that's a different market, I'd say, to Gauteng at the end of the day.
The Republic of Durban.
I love that. because that's very true.
Yeah, Durban's got its own rules.
like
eh?
little,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. But I grew up in Durban, so in a way it was like coming home. Home is where my family is, so home is Joburg. But it's I grew up there, and I'm Shloti, so you know it was nice. And I've got an incredible customer base there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's the reception been?
It's been amazing.
It's
2 years already, eh?
Sure.
End of this month is 2 years there.
2 years. I cannot believe it. I was there 2 weeks ago with my producer DX, and I was like, oh, there's the beach club, Rockets Umklanga Beach Club. And I was like, it just opened. I did not realize that it's already been that long.
Yeah.
That is
2 years, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's just insane. Now, I want to chat about, I mean, we know that you've got a deep passion for restauranteering, for all the different bars that you've got, for your staff, for your friends, your family, all of that. But you've also always, and it's something I've always appreciated and liked about you, is that you've also got a really, really deep affection for local talent and young local talent particularly.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that's how Rocket Media was launched as well.
Yeah, Rockets Media was launched because of a love for local talent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I actually ended up building Rockets Bryanston, the 4 stories that it was, because I got, so tired of people going overseas and coming back and saying, you should see what we see overseas. And I'm like, okay, I'll build something that'll show you what South African talent can do.
Yeah.
And now, I hear often people from overseas come and say, wow, we don't see anything like this overseas.
Yeah.
That's what South African talent can do. Not just in hospitality, but in anything. And that talent, for me, transverses into music at the moment.
Yes.
So Afrotech and Afro House, we as a group, we book 300 DJs a month.
What?
Yeah. We're very entertainment focused. We've never ever taken our eye off the ball when it comes to our food, but there's a large portion of what we do now is very entertainment focused. So that the sound that's emanating from us, that's making it overseas, and I see it more and more in Europe, is Afrotech and Afro House. And that's its birthplace is actually in Joburg.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get these producers that live in like 1-bedroom flats or share 1-bedroom flats and making unbelievable music on a laptop, on an old messed up laptop, that are getting abused, and these songs are getting bought for 3,000 rand and becoming hits.
Yeah, no one knows about that.
No one knows about that side of the industry, and it's dark, So we were like, we wanted a platform for these guys to harness their talents and be heard, and that was the birth of Dance Africa, so to speak.
Yeah.
Julian Van Plato is a good friend of mine, had this label, and I said, come, let's bring it into Rockets Media.
Sure.
And that's what we've done. We built a state-of-art recording studio under Rockets Bryanston, and that's where Dance Africa lives.
Love it.
We've booked 6 artists. 6 artists have signed to us at the moment, and then
That's incredible.
We provide a platform for young producers to come and explore their talents and harness their talents and make music.
Sure, I love that. Now, I want to get into, because a lot of people, a lot of time when you're like, oh, I'm going to Rockets, and sometimes I'm going for a nice lunch with friends, a family, and Mother's Day is obviously coming up, and there'll be people that are thinking, hey, let's do something. And I was chatting to DX, and I was like, do people actually know that this Mother's Day you could treat your mom, at Rockets, for instance?
You must treat your mom at Rockets.
It's not just doof all the time, and we're partying, and Zweli are up there popping the champagne, you know what I mean? Like, it's a family restaurant as well. You got that entire downstairs area that's just beautiful.
You know what I mean? I always say that food is love on a plate.
Yes.
Food was, you like that?
She loves her food. No, Nitanda loves food.
Food is love on a plate. And it's, that we spoke about the dynamism of hospitality and restauranteering. And if you can create something on a plate every single day, that's where the initial love came from. The business model expanded into being very entertainment focused, but our first love is always food. And your real talent as a restaurateur is food. Nothing that no disrespect to club owners. We have a club in our venues. But the required skill set for a restaurateur that does food is much higher than it is for a club owner.
How stressful was it for you? I can imagine during the COVID pandemic, because you not just looking after a restaurant, there's so many other people that naturally are employed by you. You have to look after them. I know that you guys, once you were allowed to operate again, you guys were doing deliveries, that sort of thing. How difficult was it to come out of that phase?
It was tough. I mean, we lost, I think, 6 or 7 shops in COVID. So it was tough. We went in with 450 staff that we had to, I think we were at revenue zero for 18 months. Wow. It's weird. If you look back on COVID, it seems like it was 1 month long, but it was. It was on off, stop, start. So it decimated our industry. We were frontline for that, but we got through. We got through.
And you guys have got incredible stuff, incredible chefs as well. I know that we're getting some stuff prepared over here. Can you tell us about? You must
always hire people way more talented than yourself. That's what I try and do on a daily basis.
It's working.
Thank you.
It seems to be working. So we're gonna do some taste tests. I know know that you've got a chef that's going to come over here. Noluthando has got a question as well.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Speaking of love on a plate, what is your go-to meal at Rockets?
I've got many.
The what?
Depends. You know, I love about our menu, it's a fusion menu. So the best thing about a fusion menu is that there's always something, no matter what your taste preferences for that day, you can find on a fusion menu. That's what I like to think. But I mean, if it's, at the moment going into winter, I'm loving our pastas.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, right now it's my go-to is a pasta.
Yeah.
Comfort food. It's got cold. It's got cold quite quickly, quicker than expected. You know, so
Love
straight.
it.
Coming up next, Noluthando's favorite part, tasting some food. We'll also play a bit of a game with Sean before he gets out of the studio. You waved your menu around over there just now, telling Noluthando that I've actually got my evidence right here in front of me right now.
I hope she brought her hunger.
I didn't eat. I did
Don't
not
insult
eat.
me by leaving anything on the plates.
And we're about to do some tastings. So are you able to give us some info or lowdown on what it is that we're expecting?
Yeah, so for starters, I've got you an ouzo prawn starter.
Okay.
And then I've got fillet on the bone for mains. And then I've got an amaretto mousse and poached pear for dessert.
Oh, so we're doing an entire three-courser.
Yeah, you both,
like
and two of
with
each, so you both got your own plates.
Okay.
Because I know this is a team of two.
Now,
So we can double up.
now we're talking. Look, we're going to wait for producer DX to make his way in here with the food just now. We'll taste it and we'll go on. But wanted to quickly just play you some messages, Sean, that have come in. And these are messages from some of the people that you know, some of the staff, the guys that you work with, and just basically telling you how much it is that you as a person mean to them and what it is that you've done for them. So hopefully we won't get you too emotional. But yeah, let's check out what the people that love you've got to say about you.
Hi, Shawnee. I just want to say a huge thank you for every single opportunity that you've given us to grow inside of Rockets. Thank you for your leadership and your guidance. Thank you that you're allowing us to be the best that we can be, Shawnee. And thank you so much for everything that you do for us on a daily basis. Thank you for every single fight that you fight for us, Shawnee. It's such an honor and a privilege to be a part of the Rockets brand, and also to see how the brand just keeps on growing to newer and higher levels.
Bafo, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for being an inspiring leader. I appreciate how you prioritize professional growth within a person, your ability to navigate challenges and keep the team focused is remarkable. Thank you, Bafo. Thank you for everything.
Hi, Shawnee. Faith over here. Almost 2 years at Rockets, and I can honestly say you are the best boss ever. I'm so grateful to you and the opportunity you have given me to grow thus far. Rockets is not only a place I come to work, but it's also a home, and I'm so grateful for the family that I've gained from being here. I love you lots. See you later. It's a lifestyle.
Hi, Shawnee. It's Chrissy here. I want to thank you, and I'd also like you to know that I appreciate the role that you're playing in my life, the way you've backed me, the way you've pushed me to grow, and the way you've trusted me with real responsibility has had a real impact on me, both at work and personally. I see it, I appreciate it, and I'm truly grateful. And I also want you to know that you will always have a special place in my heart.
How beautiful is it to hear that from the people that...
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They all still work for me, so they have to say a nice thing. No, I'm joking. Like I said, you only...
My salaries are going to be an issue next time.
That's good Christmas bonus coming up. No, you're only as strong as your team.
Yeah.
You know, and every single one of those people that spoke, they're very dear to me. I love them. I love all of our guys that are with us, you know. No one is above anyone else.
We love the food that I see over there, and we're about to go and dig in.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you how we thought or felt, and then you're going to tell us.
I'm not taking anything home. Yeah.
No. If anyone's taking anything home, it's going to be us. I'm about to indulge over there. So yeah, we're going to do a bit of a taster, and then we're going to wrap up the show in the next couple of moments. How was your starter? Right? I don't even eat seafood. I don't eat prawns. And I was like, what? This is so flavorful. This is so good. So, Sean, once again, what do we have for our starter? Have you got it on the menu over there?
Yeah, you had a ouzo prawn for your starter, and then for your mains, you had a fillet on the bone, and then you've got an amaretto mousse and poached pear for dessert that you haven't had yet.
Oh my goodness. And this is all stuff you can get this at Rockets. And like we said,
If you like it, it came from us. If you don't like it, it's not from Rockets. That's I don't even know the chef that's next to me now.
Listen, we'll do a lot of things on this show, but one thing we will not do is tell you a lie.
No, never.
That food was really, really good. The Rockets, it's a lifestyle. Sunday's Mother's Day. Hey, you don't have plans for mom? Tanda, no, you don't have plans for mom yet?
Gotta take her there.
No, you've bought her a gift, but you don't quite, you know
Well,
what
if
I
she
mean?
comes to
Not
Rocket,
sure.
she gets a glass of bubbly and a rose on arrival. I think so.
Look
See?
at that. Look
See?
at that.
Sorted.
Sorted. Mother's Day plan sorted. It's Sean Barber who has been in the studio. Sean, thank you so much for pulling through. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
It's
everything
awesome to
that
be
you
here.
do for us as well, just from a friendship level as well. It's
Likewise,
just,
thank you.
and I mean, you just heard all of your employees speak about you, and that just speaks to your
I didn't
spirit
expect
as well.
that. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I'm humbled to be here, and thanks for having me. It's been
Nah, it's a
amazing.
pleasure. One last thing I wanted to get you. So many kids are on their way back from school right now, and they're probably thinking, oh my goodness, is there something I can really do? Is there any message that you have, for someone young, or even for parents who are thinking, this isn't serious enough for my child?
No, I mean, I would say to my children, I'd prefer them not to be in hospitality, but if they did want to be in it, then fine. But whatever you do, make sure you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
I stopped being a CA because I wasn't passionate, and I took a big risk. And don't chase the money, chase the passion.
Yeah.
That's what you must do. It doesn't matter what it is. It'll look
Yeah.
after you if you do it.
Amazing. It is a Sean Barber on 947. Must I just say, a league-winning Sean Barber on 947. Yeah!
Never walk alone,
You
baby.
will never, ever, ever, ever walk alone. Oh, man, Sean, we will see you soon. And hey, guess everyone else will see you at one of the Rockets that we've got nationwide.
Thanks, guys.
Amazing. Hey, we got to get out of here. 947 Drive with Tando's coming up next. And we got a lot of food to finish. That's exactly what we're getting to right now.
Afternoons with Zweli on 947.